What y'all know about that? Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. What y'all know about that? Huh? We got a problem. Come on in, T-Steppers. We got a problem. What you know about rock? Whoo, huh? Now, all this time, for years, that her son Camel been on YouTube crying, acting a fool, having PTSD. You know, this man has said for years, hey, Cynthia. He has said for years that he was passed around, molested, touched. Did I say passed around? By Africa Bambaataa. Did I say Bambaataa? Bambaataa. I mean, he done cried. He done told the story. It remind me of Chris Stokes and what is that group with Buzz B, Marcus Houston? That boy, he angry cause he was touched, sodomized, all of that type of stuff. Everything kinda similar to Diddy. They have been complaining about it, talking about it, and so here I saw Seti Nash. Let's check it out. He said, what we gonna do about this, people? This is a problem. This is a problem. Cause he was a default in the judgment. And I am willing to bet, I don't know. Because I don't know how old her son Camel was when he was taken advantage of by Africa Bambaataa. But I would not be surprised if that lawsuit, because it's back from 91 through 95. And this hip-hop legend lost that lawsuit, civil lawsuit, because of default. Didn't want to face the music. And he was trafficked. He was passed to other men. Bambaataa forced him, sold him, pimped him. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is modern day pimping. But let's check it out. Hold on. I had to play the music so that y'all know how far it go back. Rock, playing rock. And so, Seti Nash, shout out to him. He asked a very good question. Are they going to continue to allow him to be a legend? Or is it time to blackball?
We all like different things.
These predators. Stop allowing them to be on these pedestals like they somebody special. And they are predators. That people are making excuses for their actions because people handled Hassan Campbell bad. I ain't gonna even lie. They handled him bad.
Hey, yo, it's your guy, Seti Nash, and this one right here, this one probably is going to shake hip-hop to a score. One of the founding fathers of the game, Africa Bambaataa, just lost a civil case for child sex abuse and trafficking. And you know what's worse? He didn't even show up to court. Yep, you heard it. Let's get into the nastiest story the culture's been trying to bury. Before we break it down, let me remind you who we're talking about. Africa Bambaataa. Real name, Lance Taylor, one of the architects of hip-hop. Bronx legend, the man who brought us the Zulu Nation. Peace, love, unity, and having fun.
Slow down.
That was they...
Bronx, New York. Diddy from Harlem. Is this a let's go.
Child sex abuse and trafficking. And you know what's worse?
Trafficking.
He didn't even show up to court. Yep, you heard it. Let's get into the nastiest story the culture's been trying to bury. Before we break it down, let me remind you who we're talking about. Africa Bambaataa. Real name, Lance Taylor, one of the architects of hip-hop. Bronx legend, the man who brought us the Zulu Nation. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. That was their slogan.
Peace, love, unity,
changed the game with the electro beats. Help later. Taylor, one of the architects of hip-hop. Bronx legend, the man who brought us the Zulu Nation. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. That was their slogan. He gave us Planet Rock, changed the game with the electro beats. Helped lay the foundation for the culture. But behind the music, behind the fame, allegedly, some dark been lurking for decades.
Dark.
So here's the lawsuit details, all right? In 2021, an anonymous man, we'll call him John Doe, files a civil suit in New York. He say from time to time he was 12 years old, Bambaataa abused him repeatedly. Not just abuse though. He claims Bambaataa trafficked him to other grown men. Said it went down between 1991 and 1995. 4 whole years.
So not only did he molest him, he passed them on to other men. Y'all, we gotta stop this. We gotta stop this. Because the victim is don't want to be known right now. But I do know that Hassan Campbell, was trolled, was attacked, was told he lying, was said that he was GAY. All of this because he told his truth. And he was re-victimized by the people. All for it to come out that this man really was doing what didn't want nobody to know. And he ain't the only one. Diddy ain't the only one. But this man had got away with it. Well, hell, Diddy did too. For years, because Hassan Campbell, I'm telling you, Chris Stokes, he did it to B2K. And then a Raz, he said Marcus Houston was doing it too. It's a problem.
Years. You think it's just talk? The man gave details where it happened, how it happened, the emotional manipulation, and what did
manipulation.
But behind the music, behind the fame, allegedly, some dark been lurking for decades. So here's the lawsuit details, all right? In 2021, an anonymous man, we'll call him John Doe, files a civil suit in New York. He say from time to time he was 12 years old, Bambaataa abused him repeatedly. Not just abuse though. He claims Bambaataa trafficked him to other grown men. Said it went down between 1991 and 1995. 4 whole years. You think it's just talk? The man gave details where it happened, how it happened, the emotional manipulation, and what did Bambaataa do? Nothing. No court appearance, no response. That's how you know this might be real. Because silence in court is a guilty verdict in civil law. So don't worry about pleading the fifth and all that crap as far as criminal go. But in civil law, yeah, bruh, you kind of done for him. So what happens when you get sued for something this serious and don't show up? The judge, Alexander Tisch, hits you with a default judgment. That means legally, you just lost. Court said, we heard enough, you didn't defend yourself, you're guilty. Now they move into the damages. Financial punishment on the way. Let that sink in. One of the most respected names in hip-hop history just got hit with a judgment for child sexual abuse. And no one said nothing.
Nothing.
So we can get this up to 4K likes. Force this into the algorithms because something got to be said, man.
Nobody's saying nothing. Nothing. There's a problem. There's a pattern. And I'm telling you, I'm willing to bet that it was done to him. But we want to say something's wrong with the people who got attacked. We want to make it the victim's fault.
You kind of done for him. So what happens
12 years old,
something this
passed on to other men.
The judge, Alexander Tisch, hits you with a default judgment. That means legally, you just lost. Court said, we heard enough, you didn't defend yourself, you're guilty. Now they move into the damages. Financial punishment on the way. Let that sink in. One of the most respected names in hip-hop history just got hit with a judgment for child sexual abuse. And no one said nothing. Nobody. So we can get this up to 4K likes. Force this into the algorithms because something got to be said, man. And this ain't new, y'all. In 2016, Ronald Savage came out and said Bambaataa molested him back in the 1980s. Savage was a part of Zulu Nation too. Said Bambaataa was running a whole entire ring using his...
A whole entire ring. A whole entire ring. You walk by wherever he hanging out in the Bronx, and he gonna tag that
on the way. Let that sink in. One of the most respected names in hip-hop history just got hit with a judgment for child sexual abuse. And no one said nothing. Nobody. So we can get this up to 4K likes. Force this into the algorithms because something got to be said, man. And this ain't new, y'all. In 2016, Ronald Savage came out and said Bambaataa molested him back in the 1980s. Savage was a part of Zulu Nation too. Said Bambaataa was running a whole entire ring using his family to lure in young boys. But after some time, Savage walked back his claims in 2024. Said he used a fake ID. Said it was consensual. But let's be real. How is it consensual if you're 15? Now, I will say, if that's true, bruh, we got to question Hassan Campbell as well. I'm just being fair.
Hassan Campbell.
Have to question, buddy. Because if the dude who said that said, you know what, I was 15, I had a fake ID.
What does a fake what does a fake ID have to do with somebody running up in you? What does that have to do with that? Fake ID, what? You snuck in the club with a fake ID and so that's the reason why? That was your punishment? What? So did he get paid off or what?
To him back in the 1980s. Savage was a part of Zulu Nation too. Said Bambaataa was running a whole entire ring using his family to lure in young boys. But after some time, Savage walked back his claims in 2024. Said he used a fake ID. Said it was consensual. But let's be real. How is it consensual if you're 15? Now, I will say, if that's true, bruh, we got to question Hassan Campbell as well. I'm just being fair. We have to question, buddy. Because if the dude who said that said, you know what, I was 15, I had a fake ID. I don't know, bro. Something get a little odd. And with multiple men coming forward, the hip-hop community mostly stays silent. Why? Because Bambaataa, because he's a legend. Or because folks don't want to believe people that they admire could be monsters. Let's talk facts. We cancel artists for less tweets, lyrics, controversial interviews.
Because they don't want their artists.
And still not enough noise.
Where's Africa mother? Where's Africa mother? Motherland.
You 15. Now, I will say.
Y'all know I'm looking for African motherland. Where you at? What you got to say about Zimbabwe? Bambaataa, bamboozled, booty bopper, messing with kids. And y'all know this man. I don't get it. They look up to him for what?
That's true, bruh. We got to question Hassan Campbell as well. I'm just being fair. We have to question, buddy. Because if the dude who said that said, you know what, I was 15, I had a fake ID. I don't know, bro. Something get a little odd. And with multiple men coming forward, the hip-hop community mostly stayed silent. Why? Because Bambaataa, because he's a legend. Or because folks don't want to believe people that they admire can be monsters. Let's talk facts. We cancel artists for less tweets, lyrics, controversial interviews, but this man got multiple accusations of abusing kids and still not enough noise. So, as soon as them allegations popped up in 2016, Bambaataa quietly stepped down from the Universal Zulu Nation. They tried to say he was on leave. Nah, man, he was running. That whole moment, peace, unity, upliftment, it's tainted now. Imagine being a young cat looking up to hip-hop OGs thinking they gods or whatever they call them on the East Coast.
Oh, you just coming in? Hold on.
One of them used the culture as a cover for exploitation.
I don't know how old you are.
He claims Bambaataa trafficked him to other grown men. Said it went down between 1991 and 1995. 4 whole years. You think it's just talk? The man gave details where it happened, how it happened, the emotional manipulation, and what did Bambaataa do? Nothing. No court appearance, no response. That's how you know this might be real. Because silence in court is a guilty verdict in civil law. So don't worry about pleading the fifth and all that crap as far as criminal go. But in civil law, yeah, bruh, you kind of done for him. So what happens when you get sued for something this serious and don't show up? The judge, Alexander Tisch, hits you with a default judgment. That means legally, you just lost. Court said, we heard enough. You didn't defend yourself. You're guilty. Now they move into the damages. Financial punishment on the way. Let that sink in. One of the most respected names in hip-hop history just got hit with a judgment for child sexual abuse. And no one's saying nothing. Nobody. So we can get this up to 4K likes. Force this into the algorithms because something got to be said, man.
Africa
motherland? In 2016, Ronald Savage came out and said Bambaataa molested him back in the 1980s. Savage was a part of Zulu Nation too. Said Bambaataa was running a whole entire ring, using his fame to lure in young boys. But after some time, Savage walked back his claims in 2024. Said he used a fake ID. Said it was consensual. But let's be real. How is it consensual if you're 15? Now, I will say, if that's true, bruh, we got to question Hassan Campbell as well. I'm just being fair. We have to question, buddy. Because if the dude who said that said, you know what, I was 15, I had a fake ID. I don't know, bruh. Something get a little odd. And with multiple men coming forward, the hip-hop community mostly stayed silent. Why? Because Bambaataa, because he's a legend. Or because folks don't want to believe people that they admire can be monsters. Let's talk facts. We cancel artists for less tweets, lyrics, controversial interviews, but this man got multiple accusations of abusing kids and still not enough noise. So, as soon as them allegations popped up in 2016, Bambaataa quietly stepped down from the Universal Zulu Nation. They tried to say he was on leave. Nah, man, he was running. That whole moment, peace, unity, upliftment, it's tainted now. Imagine being a young cat looking up to hip-hop OGs thinking they gods or whatever they call them on the East Coast. Only to find out one of them used the culture as a cover for exploitation. Gotta admit, that is sick. And this ain't just about African Bambaataa. It's about how many people enabled him, who saw something and said nothing, who protected him.
It's about what? I said it now. I said it now. It's about what? Can you say that again? Say that again.
Upliftment. It's tainted now. Imagine being a young cat looking up to hip-hop OGs thinking they gods or whatever they call them on the East Coast. Only to find out one of them used the culture as a cover for exploitation. Gotta admit, that is sick. And this ain't just about African Bambaataa. It's about how many people enabled him, who saw something and said nothing, who protected him. That's what makes this story bigger than just one man. So what now? African Bambaataa's legacy? Done. Civil case, lost. Criminal charges, maybe, not yet. But this judgment, that don't wash out, bruh. If hip-hop don't address this head on, we're gonna lose our soul anyways. We already preach death, violence, and all this other stuff, and everybody wanna act like they wanna speak on it when some BS happened. You had to speak on this one, because ain't no beats or bars worth protecting those damn predators. You can preach positivity and protect pain behind the scenes. Let me know in the comments, should Afrika Bambaataa be erased from hip-hop history, or is music still separated from...
Should he be erased, y'all? Should he be erased from history? Should he be erased? He been doing it. Let's be absolutely clear. He has been doing it, and he has been passing. He said he passed from 12 to 16. He was passing a kid around. One more time for the last time before we move on to something else. Shout out to Sadie Nash. Let's go.
Hey, yo, it's the guy, Sadie Nash, and this one right here, this one probably is going to shake hip-hop to a score. One of the founding fathers of the game, Afrika Bambaataa, just lost a civil case for child sex abuse and trafficking. And you know what's worse? He didn't even show up to court. Yep, you heard it. Let's get into the nastiest story the culture's been trying to bury. Before we break it down, let me remind you who we're talking about. Afrika Bambaataa. Real name, Lance Taylor, one of the architects of hip-hop. Bronx legend, the man who brought us the Zulu Nation. Peace, love, unity, and having fun. That was their slogan. He gave us Planet Rock, changed the game with the electro beats. Helped lay the foundation for the culture. But behind the music, behind the fame, allegedly, some dark been lurking for decades. So here's the lawsuit details, all right? In 2021, an anonymous man, we'll call him John Doe, files a civil suit in New York. He say from time to time he was 12 years old, Bambaataa abused him repeatedly. Not just abuse though. He claims Bambaataa trafficked him to other grown men. Said it went down between 1991 and 1995. 4 whole years. You think it's just talk? The man gave details where it happened, how it happened, the emotional manipulation, and what did Bambaataa do? Nothing. No court appearance, no response. That's how you know this might be real. Because silence in court is a guilty verdict in civil law. So don't worry about pleading the fifth and all that crap as far as criminal go. But in civil law, yeah, bruh, you kind of done for it. So what happens when you get sued for something this serious and don't show up? The judge, Alexander Tisch, hits you with a default judgment. That means legally, you just lost. Court said, we heard enough, you didn't defend yourself, you're guilty. Now they move into the damages. Financial punishment on the way. Let that sink in. One of the most respected names in hip-hop history just got hit with a judgment for child sexual abuse. And no one's saying nothing. Nobody. So we can get this up to 4K likes, force this into the algorithms because something got to be said, man. And this ain't new, y'all. In 2016, Ronald Savage came out and said Bambaataa molested him back in the 1980s. Savage was a part of Zulu Nation too. Said Bambaataa was running a whole entire ring, using his fame to lure in young boys. But after some time, Savage walked back his claims in 2024. Said he used a fake ID. Said it was consensual. But let's be real. How is it consensual if you're 15? Now, I will say, if that's true, bruh, we got to question Hassan Campbell as well. I'm just being fair. We have to question, buddy. Because if the dude who said that said, you know what, I was 15, I had a fake ID. I don't know, bro. Something get a little odd. And with multiple men coming forward, the hip-hop community mostly stayed silent. Why? Because Bambaataa, because he's a legend. Or because folks don't want to believe people that they admire can be monsters. Let's talk facts. We cancel artists for less tweets, lyrics, controversial interviews, but this man got multiple accusations of abusing kids and still not enough noise. So, as soon as them allegations popped up in 2016, Bambaataa quietly stepped down from the Universal Zulu Nation. They tried to say he was on leave. Nah, man, he was running. That whole moment, peace, unity, upliftment, it's tainted now. Imagine being a young cat looking up to hip-hop OGs thinking they gods or whatever they call them on the East Coast. Only to find out one of them used the culture as a cover for exploitation. You gotta admit, that is sick. And this ain't just about Afrika Bambaataa. It's about how many people enabled him, who saw something and said nothing, who protected him. That's what makes this story bigger than just one man. So what now? Afrika Bambaataa's legacy? Done. Civil case, lost. Criminal charges, maybe, not yet. But this judgment, that don't wash out, bruh. If hip-hop don't address this head on, we're gonna lose our soul anyways. We already preach death, violence, and all this other stuff, and everybody wanna act like they wanna speak on it when some BS happened. You had to speak on this one, because ain't no beats or bars worth protecting those damn predators. You can preach positivity and protect pain behind the scenes. Let me know in the comments, should Afrika Bambaataa be erased from hip-hop history, or his music still separated from the man? And don't forget, man, the kids matter more than the culture. Like, share, subscribe.
The kids matter more than the culture. The kids matter more than the culture. We got to remember that. We got to remember that. Okay, yeah, let me go ahead and go here before I forget. Hold on. The kids are more important than the culture. Hey, Leo, I'm back. I'm back. Hold on. Let me go over here. Oh, I cut that volume down. Yeah, it's a thing going on. The kids matter more than the culture. Absolutely.
Conspiracy threads link her disappearance to other mysterious figures connected to Diddy's orbit. Some speculate that she may be a key witness, perhaps even a victim. Others suggest she may be the linchpin in unraveling a deeper network of exploitation. Whatever the truth, the mystery surrounding Ava has cast a sinister shadow over an already grotesque case.
Baby.
The Lil Rod lawsuit, a window into alleged depravity.
Oh my goodness.
At the center of the legal storm is the explosive lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. The civil complaint reads less like a legal document and more like a psychological thriller. Lil Rod alleges that Diddy oversaw a full-fledged criminal operation masquerading as an entertainment empire, a RICO-worthy network of abuse, coercion, and silence. The details are harrowing. In one 2022 incident at a Los Angeles recording studio, Lil Rod claims a supposed listening party devolved into what he calls a freak-off, a term used to describe the drug-fueled sex parties Diddy allegedly organized. According to the suit, an underage girl was present, a sex worker was hired, and Lil Rod was allegedly forced to consume a shot laced with unknown substances.
Y'all get the likes up. Can you do that for me?
The sex worker, his memory blank, implying possible sexual assault. The experience, he alleges, was not isolated, but part of a routine culture of degradation. Quincy Combs and grooming allegations, a son under the spotlight. The Diddy saga continues to spiral into darker, more disturbing territory as new allegations surface, this time involving Quincy Combs, Diddy's adopted son, and the biological child of the late Kim Porter. Once seen as a success story, a young man taken under the wing of a music mogul and given a life of luxury, Quincy is now at the center of chilling claims that hint at deeper, more sinister motives behind his adoption. The accusations gained traction when rapper Freddie P., a former Bad Boy Records artist, took to social media with raw, emotional posts questioning Diddy's relationship with Quincy. "Why were you so close to a boy that wasn't yours?" Freddie asked in a viral live stream, accusing Diddy of isolating Quincy from his biological father and molding him into a person wholly dependent on Diddy.
When babies with cow's milk protein allergy feel the relief, families feel it too. Nutramigen
wasn't just controlling, it may have bordered on grooming. While no formal charges have been filed related to Quincy, the insinuation alone has opened the floodgates for renewed scrutiny into how Diddy structured the dynamics within his family. In a culture where powerful men have historically hidden abusive behavior behind mentorship and parental facades,
Right.
Freddie's words struck a nerve. A cycle of abuse, from father to sons. What once appeared to be a legacy of mentorship and family unity now increasingly resembles a pattern of generational trauma. Both Justin and Christian Combs, biological sons of Diddy, have been named in civil lawsuits alleging predatory behavior, eerily reminiscent of the accusations against their father. One of the most disturbing claims involves Christian Combs, also known by his stage name King Combs. A 26-year-old flight attendant named Grace O'Mark filed a lawsuit alleging sexual assault aboard Diddy's private yacht in December 2022. O'Marque believed she had been invited on a luxury family getaway. What she encountered, however, was something else entirely. According to the lawsuit, the yacht trip devolved into a scene of debauchery. Heavy drug use, unconscious partygoers, and a deeply coercive atmosphere. O'Marque alleges that Christian pressured her into drinking what she later suspected was spiked tequila. After one drink, she blacked out. She awoke hours later, disoriented and groped in the yacht's recording studio. O'Marque's account mirrors other accusations against Diddy, creating not only a disturbing pattern, but the impression that the environment he cultivated enabled and even encouraged exploitative behavior. The lawsuit goes further, accusing Diddy of fostering the conditions for the assault, asserting that he provided the location, the substances, and the impunity. If true, it suggests Diddy's sons were not just complicit, they were shaped by a system designed to conceal and perpetuate abuse. The aftermath of G's shooting. Manipulation amid chaos. As disturbing as the sexual misconduct allegations are, the violence tied to Diddy's inner circle adds another explosive layer. One of the most unsettling events is the alleged shooting of an aspiring artist known only as G at Chalice Studios on September 12, 2022. According to witness Lil Rod, the scene was chaos. Gunshots rang out, and G was found bleeding in the bathroom. While Lil Rod reportedly tried to save him, screaming for someone to call an ambulance, others in the room froze. Diddy, referred to by some insiders as Dirty, and his son Justin Holmes allegedly left the immediate area as the panic unfolded. But the real damage came after the shooting. Dirty, according to multiple accounts, took control of the narrative. He allegedly ordered those present to lie to police, claiming the incident was a drive-by shooting outside the building. Lil Rod stated that Dirty coerced longtime associate Mr. Jones to repeat the false story to authorities, while Justin allegedly assisted in keeping Diddy hidden from law enforcement. This incident paints a picture of a man who was not just reactionary, but calculating, immediately seeking to preserve his image and empire, regardless of the cost to others. If proven true, the cover-up could carry significant legal consequences and further unravel the tightly wound mythos surrounding Diddy's brand. The fight over Kim Porter's memoir, Silencing the Dead. Perhaps the most explosive development in this tangled web is the alleged existence of a memoir written by Kim Porter, the mother of Christian and Quincy and Diddy's former longtime partner. According to Courtney Burgess, a close friend of Porter, the late model and actress had begun writing a tell-all manuscript before her mysterious and still unresolved death in 2018. Burgess claims the memoir contained damning allegations against Diddy, including details of an underground trafficking network, abuse, and emotional manipulation. She was reportedly planning to publish the book, but died suddenly from pneumonia, a cause many have questioned due to the timing and circumstances. Following her death, Porter's children, allegedly under Diddy's influence, filed legal action to prevent the memoir from being released. They argued that any writings by Kim Porter were now their legal property, and accused Burgess of attempting to exploit her legacy. Curiously, even while denying the memoir's existence, they demanded full financial accounting for any profits from the manuscript, a contradiction that raised even more red flags. This was not the first attempt to...
Hold on. I don't have this. Yeah. He doing a lot of manipulation, baby. Yes, indeed. He manipulating everybody, ain't he? He covering his tracks, ain't he?
Publish material allegedly linked to Porter. A separate book written by Chris Todd surfaced on Amazon, claiming to offer insight into Porter's life and
This seamless lifting bra understands all senior ladies. Aging loosens your muscles and booms.
claiming it was fiction. Still, the timing and ferocity of their legal maneuvers only added fuel to the conspiracy theories.
Don't you look
What
wrong?
exactly are they trying to hide? Allegations of trafficking and abuse. Within the industry, a darker reality unveiled. As investigations into Diddy's operations gained momentum, a chilling pattern emerged, exposing an industry-wide culture of exploitation and abuse. The allegations against Diddy, once shocking, soon began to fit into a broader and more disturbing narrative about Hollywood's treatment of young stars. The truth, which had long been buried beneath the glamour and glitz of the entertainment world, was beginning to surface in fragments. And these fragments were starting to tell a story far darker than anyone could have anticipated. In the midst of these revelations, one name kept coming up in the investigations: Diddy, or as some now refer
Dirty.
to him, Dirty. As more witnesses came forward, they began describing the infamous freak-off parties he allegedly hosted. Events notorious not just for their hedonism, but for the disturbing presence of young, vulnerable attendees. According to some testimonies, parents would often bring their children to these parties, drop them off, and disappear into the night. The claim was not just that these children were exposed to unsafe environments, it was that Diddy orchestrated it all. What set these parties apart from the more common hedonistic Hollywood gatherings was their alarming mix
Hey, Max,
of
to the
power,
boogie.
manipulation, and disregard for safety. Freak-offs weren't just about excess. They were about control.
By control.
Dirty, witnesses said, didn't just attend these gatherings as a host, he curated them. Allegedly, it was within these controlled spaces that the grooming and exploitation of vulnerable young people were allowed to flourish. 50 Cent's crusade for accountability. Exposing the darkness. While the entertainment industry remained eerily silent, one voice refused to back down: 50 Cent. Over the years, 50 Cent has made no secret of his disdain for Diddy, frequently calling him out for what he believed to be predatory behavior and manipulative tactics. But now, with the rising tide of allegations, 50 Cent has taken his crusade to a new level. The rapper recently announced that he would be producing a documentary series for Netflix aimed at exposing the abuse, corruption, and exploitation that allegedly ran rampant in Diddy's circle. 50 Cent's decision to create the series marks a pivotal moment in the public's understanding of the situation. Known for his no-nonsense attitude and history of calling out corruption in the industry, his move to shine a light on the dark underbelly of the entertainment world has been hailed as an act of courage.
He been having Ava.
The series promises to peel
Where's she at
back
now,
the
though?
layers of manipulation, giving voice to those who had been silenced for far too long. The fact that someone with 50 Cent's credibility and platform is dedicating resources to this cause sends a strong message. The days of silence are
Look
over.
at her.
And for Diddy, who once maintained a carefully crafted image of success and charm, the consequences of these revelations could be disastrous. Orlando Brown's testimony: discarded truth or early warning. Before the floodgates opened, there was Orlando Brown, the former child star who made headlines for erratic behavior and bizarre interviews. For years, Brown's erratic statements were dismissed as the ramblings of a troubled mind. However, buried within his outbursts were allegations about Hollywood's darker side.
Right?
In a series of interviews, Brown claimed that he had witnessed behind-the-scenes manipulation and exploitation within the industry. He spoke of parties that were about much more than just excess and indulgence. He described a culture of predation, where young stars were groomed, manipulated, and taken advantage of by the powerful figures who ran the show. At the time, Brown was largely written off. His struggles with addiction and public meltdowns led many to dismiss him as mentally unstable. But in light of the current allegations against Diddy, many are now reevaluating Brown's words. Was he telling the truth all along, only to be ignored because of his personal struggles? With the industry's history of covering up abuse and
now we know why some of them got personal
it seems
struggles.
Increasingly likely that Orlando Brown may have been one of the earliest and most dismissed whistleblowers. The shopping invitation: 50 Cent versus Diddy. One of the most curious stories to emerge from the growing allegations involves 50 Cent himself. In a recent interview, 50 Cent recounted an incident in which Diddy invited him out, not to a nightclub or an industry event, but to go shopping. At the time, 50 Cent found the gesture odd, but he declined. Looking back, however, he now believes that the invitation was not just a friendly offer. It was a romantic advance. Diddy's known charm and manipulative power had often been used to lure younger men into his orbit. According to 50 Cent,
50 would have
this
beat
wasn't
the
an
crap out of
isolated
him.
incident. It became clear that shopping trips and other seemingly innocuous gestures were often pretexts for more sinister motives. Other younger male artists, such as Meek Mill, reportedly accepted such invitations without hesitation, perhaps understanding the fame and fortune that came with a close relationship with Diddy. But 50 Cent's decision to refuse the invitation, in hindsight, marked a turning point, one where the strings attached to these relationships became painfully clear. For 50 Cent, this moment solidified his belief that Diddy's power was built on manipulation, coercion, and control. It wasn't about friendship or mentorship. It was about dominance and the ability to exploit those who sought a piece of the empire he controlled. Hypocrisy, silence, and the burden of truth. As more of Diddy's secrets began to surface, one of the most chilling aspects of the unfolding saga was the silence of many who had been close to him. Celebrities, influencers, and industry professionals who had attended his infamous parties, sipped champagne in his mansions, and smiled for photos, were now claiming ignorance. They spoke out, but their words felt hollow. How could they have been so unaware of what was happening behind the scenes? The fact is, many of them were likely aware and chose to remain silent. The allure of fame, the fear of career suicide, and the normalization of abuse in elite circles all played a role in keeping the truth buried. Those who participated in the freak-offs or turned a blind eye to the abuses are now scrambling to distance themselves from the fallout, hoping the public will forget their complicity. But there are those who refuse to remain silent, like 50 Cent and Orlando Brown, and their voices are now more important than ever. They have become symbols of resistance in a culture that thrives on silence. Their courage in speaking out, despite the backlash they faced, shines a light on the deep-rooted problems within the entertainment industry. As 50 Cent noted, the real issue isn't just about knowledge, it's about complicity. Those who participated in the abuse and manipulation may never be held accountable if their silence continues to overshadow the truth. And while the public's gaze now turns toward the men and women who stayed silent, the reckoning is far from over. The fall of an empire? The allegations against Diddy or Dirty have cast a dark shadow over an industry already riddled with scandal. From coercion and abuse to manipulation and cover-ups, the accusations reveal not only a man's alleged criminal acts, but also a deeply entrenched system of exploitation. The scope of these claims is staggering, implicating not just Diddy, but also those within his circle who turned a blind eye or actively protected him. What's even more chilling is the systemic nature of these abuses. How Hollywood's elite turned a blind eye to the suffering of vulnerable individuals, prioritizing wealth, power, and fame over basic human decency. Those who dared to speak out were silenced, marginalized, or dismissed as unstable, as seen with figures like Orlando Brown and 50 Cent. But now, as more voices join the fight for accountability, a new narrative is emerging, one that refuses to let the powerful operate with impunity any longer. The courage of figures like 50 Cent, who has vowed to expose the dark underbelly of the industry, signals the beginning of a long overdue reckoning. What's clear is that the public's tolerance for the abuses of the rich and powerful is running thin. The empire that once seemed untouchable is beginning to crumble under the weight of its own corruption, and the era of silence and complicity may finally be over. The industry and its icons will never be the same again. In a shocking turn of events, 50 Cent has ignited a firestorm by accusing Diddy of exploiting his adopted daughter, Ava Baroni Combs, to industry elites for manipulation and control.
He
The rap mogul and entrepreneur, known for his unfiltered approach, recently shared explosive evidence that allegedly ties Diddy to a disturbing network of power, wealth, and exploitation. In a video posted across social media, 50 Cent claims that Ava, who Diddy once referred to as his daughter, was used as a pawn in the dangerous world of Hollywood's elite, providing intimate details that have rocked the entertainment industry. As the claims unfold, 50 Cent is doubling down on his fight for accountability and truth. Trial tensions mount as family disappears. Sean Diddy Combs entered the courtroom this week without the usual fanfare of supporters and smiling family members that once flanked him. For a man who has long curated the image of a mogul with a loyal tribe behind him, the shift.
Shout out to 50 Cent. Shout out to 50 Cent.
Seems like you always
Shout out
do
to
something
him.
right before a trip, like sunscreen.
Children who once sat front row at public events and walked red carpets in coordinated outfits marked a turning point in this escalating legal saga. Only one family member made a quiet, belated appearance: Justin Combs. Slipping into the courtroom 10 minutes after proceedings began, he avoided eye contact with reporters and made no statements. A subtle nod was exchanged between father and son, but the silence that followed was louder than words. For spectators and insiders alike, the moment was chilling. Diddy, once a man surrounded by an entourage that exuded invincibility, now appeared unmistakably alone. According to sources close to the family, this growing distance may be no accident. Diddy's children have found themselves entangled in the same legal storm clouds that threaten to engulf him. Multiple lawsuits name them as co-defendants, or at least complicit actors. Allegations ranging from facilitating abuse to participating in cover-ups. Legal strategy may dictate their absence, but emotional fallout is undoubtedly part of the equation. Once shielded by their father's fame, they are now being dragged into a darkness that no PR team can spin away. Ava Baroni Combs, from internet curiosity to legal focus. Perhaps the most disturbing subplot in this sordid narrative centers on a girl the world first met on Instagram Live, Ava Baroni Combs. In 2020, Diddy introduced her to fans with a mix of fatherly pride and influencer flair. "This is my adopted daughter, Ava," he beamed, his arm around the then 12-year-old. She looked shy, blinking into the camera, as he recounted how she'd been homeless, living on the streets until he took her in. "She wanted a black father," he added, a line that struck many as performative even then.
Yeah, she was walking down the street and he saw her. And then when he told her to fix that story, you know, switch it up. That ain't good enough. She said, "I was 6 months old." What? What? Shit.
But back then, it was viewed as a heartwarming tale, another notch in Diddy's belt of cultural goodwill. Now, it reads like a chilling prologue. Public records reveal no official adoption papers for Ava. TMZ later reported that no legal guardianship was ever filed. Questions about her origin intensified when online sleuths matched her childhood photos with missing children reports from 2018. Independent facial recognition tools, applied by TikTokers and Twitter users alike, revealed an unsettling match with a girl listed as missing from the Pacific Northwest. Internet detectives began compiling footage of Ava at family events, 4th of July barbecues, Christmas morning in matching pajamas, even clips from a Diddy-hosted panel where Ava sat beside his daughters. These weren't one-off appearances. She had been integrated into the family fabric for years. But the most haunting clip is a casual family moment turned viral lightning rod. In it, Diddy jokingly asks Ava who her crush is. She squirms. Her response is hesitant, eyes darting off camera. The tone is playful on the surface, but viewers have noted a disturbing tension that feels anything but innocent. Subpoenaed and vanished. Adding to the mystery,
Subpoenaed. They subpoenaed her and she vanished. Did y'all hear that? Subpoenaed and vanished. Oh,
legal storm
Lord.
clouds that threaten to engulf him. Multiple lawsuits name them as co-defendants, or at least complicit actors. Allegations ranging from facilitating abuse to participating in cover-ups. Legal strategy may dictate their absence, but emotional fallout is undoubtedly part of the equation.
Wow.
Once shielded by their father's fame, they are now being dragged into a darkness that no PR team can spin away. Ava Baroni Combs, from internet curiosity to legal focus. Perhaps the most disturbing subplot in this sordid narrative centers on a girl the world first met on Instagram Live, Ava Baroni Combs. In 2020, Diddy introduced her to fans with a mix of fatherly pride and influencer flair. "This is my adopted daughter, Ava," he beamed, his arm around the then 12-year-old. She looked shy, blinking into the camera, as he recounted how she'd been homeless, living on the streets until he took her in. "She wanted a black father," he added, a line that struck many as performative even then. But back then, it was viewed as a heartwarming tale, another notch in Diddy's belt of cultural goodwill. Now, it reads like a chilling prologue. Public records reveal no official adoption papers for Ava. TMZ later reported that no legal guardianship was ever filed. Questions about her origin intensified when online sleuths matched her childhood photos with missing children reports from 2018. Independent facial recognition tools, applied by TikTokers and Twitter users alike, revealed an unsettling match with a girl listed as missing from the Pacific Northwest. Internet detectives began compiling footage of Ava at family events, 4th of July barbecues, Christmas morning in matching pajamas, even clips from a Diddy-hosted panel where Ava sat beside his daughters. These weren't one-off appearances. She had been integrated into the family fabric for years. But the most haunting clip is a casual family moment turned viral lightning rod. In it, Diddy jokingly asks Ava who her crush is. She squirms. Her response is hesitant, eyes darting off camera. The tone is playful on the surface, but viewers have noted a disturbing tension that feels anything but innocent. Subpoenaed and vanished. Adding to the mystery, Ava Baroni Combs has reportedly been subpoenaed in connection to the trial. But as of this week, her whereabouts are unknown. There's no record of her attending school.
Y'all, she was supposed to be subpoenaed for the trial. Did we know that? I've been hollering, where Ava? Where Ava? And this little girl, well, it was subpoenaed. And then she disappeared.
To preserve his image and empire, regardless of the cost to others. If proven true, the explosive development in this tangled web is the alleged existence of a memoir written by Kim Porter, the mother of Christian and Quincy and Diddy's former longtime partner. According to Courtney Burgess, a close friend of Porter, the and insiders alike, the moment was chilling. Diddy, once a man surrounded by an entourage that exuded invincibility, now appeared unmistakably alone. According to sources close to the family, this growing distance may be no accident. Diddy's children have found themselves entangled in the same legal storm clouds that threaten to engulf him. Multiple lawsuits name them as co-defendants, or at least complicit actors. Allegations ranging from facilitating abuse to participating in cover-ups. Legal strategy may dictate their absence, but emotional fallout is undoubtedly part of the equation. Once shielded by their father's fame, they are now being dragged into a darkness that no PR team can spin away. Ava Baroni Combs, from internet curiosity to legal focus. Perhaps the most disturbing subplot in this sordid narrative centers on a girl the world first met on Instagram Live, Ava Baroni Combs. In 2020, Diddy introduced her to fans with a mix of fatherly pride and influencer flair. "This is my adopted daughter, Ava," he beamed, his arm around the then 12-year-old. She looked shy, blinking into the camera, as he recounted how she'd been homeless, living on the streets until he took her in. "She wanted a black father," he added, a line that struck many as performative even then. But back then, it was viewed as a heartwarming tale, another notch in Diddy's belt of cultural goodwill. Now, it reads like a chilling prologue. Public records reveal no official adoption papers for Ava. TMZ later reported that no legal guardianship was ever filed. Questions about her origin intensified when online sleuths matched her childhood photos with missing children reports from 2018. Independent facial recognition tools, applied by TikTokers and Twitter users alike, revealed an unsettling match with a girl listed as missing from the Pacific Northwest. Internet detectives began compiling footage of Ava at family events, 4th of July barbecues, Christmas morning in matching pajamas, even clips from a Diddy-hosted panel where Ava sat beside his daughters. These weren't one-off appearances. She had been integrated into the family fabric for years. But the most haunting clip is a casual family moment turned viral lightning rod. In it, Diddy jokingly asked,
Having your information
I can't
freely
believe this
available
man
on the
is that
internet
sick.
makes it easier for anyone to impersonate you online or
is hesitant, eyes darting off camera.
I can't believe
The tone
this.
is playful on the surface, but viewers have noted a disturbing tension that feels anything but innocent. Subpoenaed and vanished. Adding to the mystery, Ava Baroni Combs has reportedly been subpoenaed in connection to the trial. But as of this week, her whereabouts are unknown. There's no record of her attending school, no sightings on social media, no confirmation from legal teams. Theories swirl like vultures. Has she gone into hiding? Is she under court protection? Has she been silenced, either by coercion or worse? The internet is ablaze. Conspiracy threads link her disappearance to other mysterious figures connected to Diddy's orbit. Some speculate that she may be a key witness, perhaps even a victim. Others suggest she may be the linchpin in unraveling a deeper network of exploitation. Whatever the truth, the mystery surrounding Ava has cast a sinister shadow over an already grotesque case. The Lil Rod lawsuit, a window into alleged depravity. At the center of the legal storm is the explosive lawsuit filed by producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. The civil complaint
I think
reads
it's
less
repeating
like a legal
itself.
document
We've seen
and
this,
more
right?
like a psychological thriller. Lil Rod alleges that Diddy oversaw a full-fledged criminal operation masquerading as an entertainment empire, a RICO-worthy network of abuse, coercion, and silence. The details are harrowing. In 2022...
If people not seeing racketeering, RICO, I don't know what to tell them. Broken record going on right now. What that mean, Leo? I don't know what to tell them. They thought it was just about Cassie. Didn't I tell them that was not the case? Last weekend, I told them this meat and potatoes coming. It sounds like it's playing over and over. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I didn't know if it started with this one. Yeah, it's on loop. It need to be on loop. This one need to be on loop. It damn sure do need to be on loop, baby. Cause if people don't realize that it ain't just about Cassie, then I got another one. A whole bunch of people died mysteriously after interacting with Diddy. Yeah, that incident with his bodyguard, he died. Kim Porter, her friend that wrote the book, Bling, she just dropped dead. No reason. Hell, now I want to know how that girl that they said that was pregnant by Jay-Z. Kathy, no, her name wasn't Kathy. What was her name? Oh my goodness. I can't think of her name. Oh my goodness. And I meant to do research on her. It wasn't Kim. Kathy. I can't remember. Her, the guy on Ellen DeGeneres. They say he committed suicide. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but Diddy said something. He threatened Ellen DeGeneres right there in front of him. It's a whole bunch of people. I just want us to be clear. Who came in and I didn't speak? Lachey. Hey, Lachey. Yeah, I'm finna go to the next one because I done already been here. I read it for a while. I ain't gonna be here all day. All night. Hold on. Let's switch gears. This is crazy. Hold on, y'all. Let me move it. This is crazy. This is crazy. This really is crazy. Flex. And what was his name?
Metcalf's father now wants to confront.
You look like a penguin walking. That's what my mother-in-law said as I walked to the kitchen to grab another plate of food on my wedding day.
Good evening.
That ain't what I was trying to do. Oh, okay. I want y'all to hear that. That ain't where I was going, but I still got it marked right here. I was going to Ellen, but let's go.
Honestly, the whole thing with the sex and the whole thing with the...
No, I need to start with who he is. Hold on. I need to start with who he is.
Assault.
I need to start with who he is. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I need to start with who he is.
Pay this woman.
Real life.
Shout out to Real Life Street Star.
Real life.
Real life.
The code.
Oh. So when did you realize what play was being said?
Oh, I didn't want to start with
Earlier
this
today.
one.
When I was listening to
Don Richards.
Yeah.
Hold
and
on.
I was listening to our former friend
Hold on.
and the guy, his...
I want them to be played in order. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay, that was how I started.
He's egotistical, narcissistic.
No.
Because who the hell does that?
Yeah, I'm trying to give it to you in the right order.
To our former friend and the guy, his... And at the moment, they...
Real life.
It ain't real life. Real life street stars. You know what time it is. You know, with this case, right? It's just been a lot of it's been a lot of things, right? How would you score the defense versus the prosecution with Cassie, right?
I really liked the defense up until I unlocked the code.
Oh. So
I can't start with this one. I can't start with this one. I can't start with this one. I can't start with that one. Yeah, it has been a long day for me. And I went too long without eating. I guess I'm gonna have to. I don't know which order I had. I'm gonna start with this one. Shoot.
Ready for your weekly jump? Stab yourself in the stomach every week and you'll see the
You
fat
right,
on the way,
Leo.
along with your collagen, your butt, and all of your muscle mass.
It's very hard to prove a conspiracy of one and all of this, and it's rarely done. Cassie is not here to prove anything other than the racketeering because she's the co-conspirator.
Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all that last week? Didn't I tell y'all that? That this ain't about her sex life. They lining that ass up. Lining that ass up. Didn't I tell y'all that?
It ain't real life. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
Real life street stars.
Oh, so this is it. Okay, this is how it started. All right.
And we got my lawyer in the building.
Good to be back.
Real life lawyer.
Come on, man.
Real life.
And he's about to take us on a journey and a ride.
Now, I don't know if
Tell
I'm
us
agree
what's
with
really
everything
going
he
on in
say,
this
but let's go.
courtroom with this Diddy situation, man. I don't even know where to start, man. You want to start with, I don't know, where should we start?
You know, man, we can start off with some of the testimony and
let's go.
And what has been said either by Cassidy or the male escort, and we can kind of work our way into it. But I'll tell you this. And
are we doing the recap of the first week?
Yeah.
Okay, because we haven't spoke on it.
Right. We can just talk about it, have a conversation about what you think or what I think took place in that first week. You can ask me questions in regard to that, but I will tell you that the caveat and the thing that you want to use your reels for is Cassidy is not who we think Cassidy is in this trial.
Okay, let's break that down because I've been watching the trial. I've watched every second of this trial. I've gotten everybody's information on this trial. So let's start here, right? We have Cassie on the stand, right? She's pregnant. They threatened mistrial because they feel like they're rushing Cassie off the stand. Is this a usual practice where you have a pregnant woman that's testifying? The defense is like, y'all are rushing us. Why did y'all put her first?
Oh, Lord. Pressure. What you think about African Bambaataa? Did you hear about him? Hey, it's been a long day. Yeah. Hey, Byron.
You have the right to put your case in whatever order you want. And right now, it's the government's case. And so at first, I was like everyone else, like, why did they put her on first? But now I get it. I think I truly understand. And so I'm hoping that my track record of being 11 for 11 correct on what's happening with the case. I hope I'm keeping my track record intact, but I think I honestly see where the government is going with this.
Got you, because a lot of people don't, right? A lot of people are they keep making her disclose her sexual deviancy, if you will, and they keep talking about abuse, and they're all like, we're trying to tie this into sex trafficking, but we don't see it yet. So where are we missing this? Like,
I think honestly, the whole thing with the sex and the whole thing with the assault, smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. The
prosecutor is basically putting that up, and the defense is biting on it and really defending that when that's not really the crux of the matter.
I'm so glad. Leo, I said this last week before he say what he gonna say. I'm so glad. So that means I got it before he got it. Yeah, y'all light bulbs, cause y'all men. Y'all light bulb come on late.
There are 2 allegations of sex trafficking. There are 2 allegations of sex trafficking. There's the racketeering.
Right.
And then there's 2 other charges. I'm trying to think of what they are.
Somebody looked at it real quick.
I have them. I have what they are. So it's the 2 allegations of racketeering and then transportation to engage in prostitution.
Transportation.
So those is two counts of that.
Let's go, attorney.
And so you think about it. They didn't really allege that Cassidy was sex trafficked. Right? They didn't really allege that she was brought or prostituted. So
right, because it seems the other way around. It seems like yeah.
So at first I was kind of like, okay, what are they getting at? What is the prosecution really wanting to prove with having her on so early, and why did they put the male escort up first?
Right.
And so I'll tell you right now that the 2 bombshells are later to come with the 2 individuals that they're going to have and come and speak to how they were sex trafficked and how they were transported. How did they get there? Now, you can almost think that the first escort was part of that, right? But he really, in essence, even though sex trafficking, the laws on that are broad, right? They started off in 1909 or 1910. And then they were amended later on, I think in the 80s. But the thing is, they're so broad, he could be basically used to prove sex trafficking, because remember, it was a time that both Diddy and Cassie said, let's bring him to New York. And so they flew him in to New York. Now, as broad as the law is, we could be looking at part of the transportation, part of bringing him in, compensating him to perform a sex act. And so that could be part of it. But the thing is, you really don't need the coercion of the collusion of Cassie and the whole issue with her being beaten, traumatized, and all of that to prove these cases. So why are you really emphasizing all of this?
Right.
Why? That's the question. Why?
Racketeering.
And so the bombshell is this.
Real life street stars.
AunTeaFee.
Racketeering requires conspiracy. And so I was listening to some of the other lawyers and people talk about it, and it's like, well, it's very hard to prove a conspiracy of one and all of this, and it's rarely done. Cassie is not here to prove anything other than the racketeering, because she's the co-conspirator.
I told y'all that. Didn't I not tell y'all that?
Break that down.
She's a
co-conspirator
co-conspirator
because she was.
And that's the whole trick of it. And Diddy did it trying to protect himself, so that other people, everybody had to do something. Just like earlier today, that executive assistant had to prove his loyalty and have sex with that girl. He was calling himself making everybody do something, incorporating everybody, not realizing doing that, because see, he was looking for a way out on himself. But what he didn't look at is the racketeering and the enterprise, and you are instructing people to do these illegal acts at your request, is what's going to get you tripped up and locked up with racketeering by yourself.
She's the co-conspirator because in order for you to have the racketeering portion of it, you have to make an agreement that we're going to commit a crime. And racketeering and conspiracy is different than just conspiracy, because conspiracy usually involves just that one act, like we're going to rob this bank. But racketeering and conspiracy means multiple.
I don't know what you're talking about. KPD walked into the courtroom. They got a body. What body? And a gangster.
We're part of that. And since I've been on this show, I've always told you that the main thing that get you caught up is the transfer of money.
Okay, but I don't know what you mean by that. Big pressure, but they wanted Diddy. They want Jay-Z. Now I know you don't like Jay-Z name coming up in it, but that's what they want. Keefy D is, that ain't what they was on right now. They got a body. Hell, they gonna get bodies with Diddy too. It just ain't came out yet. Diddy got a lot of bodies. Jay-Z got some too. I don't know what you on with these people, but they know, and I told y'all last week, they making a sandwich, a big ass sandwich. So what he was saying with why people don't understand why they started out with the escort and Cassie, they the bread. They the bread. They the bread, period. and the meat and potatoes, all the condiments, is finna be filled in 6 weeks. And I bet you bodies gonna come out. I bet you bodies gonna come out.
And some of the other acts, or some of the other means. That all the elements.
They gonna prove it. I don't have to prove it.
Co-conspirator.
I don't have to prove it. They gonna prove it just like now. I told y'all last week that she was a co-conspirator. They saying it now. I don't have to prove shit. They gonna prove it. They already got their case. The feds already had it. They already have it. And when old girl come out next week, you gonna say something else. Keefy D. We ain't trying to compare with Keefy D. We don't give a shit about Keefy D. He over in the West Coast. We over here in the East Coast. I don't give a shit about Keefy D. Yeah.
The crime is prostitution. You can even throw in money laundering if they paid cash. Because now you paid someone to commit an illegal act.
Oh, my blood pressure ain't nothing.
In which it's unrecorded.
And they just up there telling it too. They
telling it.
Willingly telling it.
Because,
and you know what else is funny? And they telling it. And then here go a Diddy dumbass. He over here writing notes to have them ask her other stuff. To trying to embarrass her is further incriminating himself.
So confused and so focused in on the sex acts that are happening.
He talking to you, Pressure. He talking to you.
And who?
You so confused. You stuck on the sex.
All the elements are met. She's the co-conspirator. The crime is prostitution. You can even throw in money laundering if they paid cash. Because now you paid someone to commit an illegal act in a means in which it's unrecorded.
And they just up there telling it too. They are willingly telling it. That's the crazy part.
Because everyone is so confused and so focused in on the sex acts that are happening. Like we're talking about the peeing. And who did Puffy ask him to pee or did she?
Right.
We're talking more like my man Iverson said. You're talking about peeing? You're talking about peeing? We're on trial for racketeering and you're talking sex trafficking and you're talking about peeing? Because that whole incident, that whole situation is meant to really potentially take the defense off their game. And so they're focusing on, we keep saying it, yeah, he's a bad guy. And they're more focused on saying, okay, he's a bad guy, he beats women. That's a state crime. We're not in state court.
Everybody was looking at. I tried to tell y'all.
That's not the issue. And so she is the co-conspirator. She tells how she went and got the item. She tells about how they recruited them, how they got people in, the acts that took place. So she's laying down she's literally up there ratting on the conspiracy.
Absolutely.
So she's not the victim. So this is some usual suspect type stuff. And I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right in this. Let me say this. I hope I'm right because I think I understand where the feds are going with this.
It's the only thing makes sense.
I don't want to see anybody go to jail. Right. But at the same time, I don't want to see anyone get beaten, and I don't want to see anyone trafficked.
Right.
But as a lawyer and being a student of the law, I'm just intrigued by how different lawyers treat their cases.
Yeah.
And I think that the feds are actually throwing all of this out there, and everyone is so caught up with the sex acts,
right,
that they're missing the fact that she's basically laying out the conspiracy of the racketeer.
Is beating on someone assault?
Absolutely.
Can you believe people still feed their dogs?
Absolutely.
If my dog could talk, he would sue me for how many nights?
The fact that she's basically laying out the conspiracy of the racketeer.
Is peeing on someone assault?
If it's unwanted, if I hit your car and you're in it, I've assaulted you. And so anything that you hit that's connected to someone's body or their body is a form of assault.
If you spit on somebody, it's assault.
If she didn't want to be peed on, Yeah, but the crazy thing about it is the escort, who seemed to be extremely credible, right?
Extremely.
Right.
He said, and when asked by the defense, you sure Puffy didn't ask? No, Mr. Combs didn't ask. She asked. And she gave me detail on how.
She asked up in front of you. He have no idea what was instructed before he got there. See, people are forgetting that Cassie said he told her what he wanted out of that freak off with that person. So he made her pay them, find them, choose them, pay them with his money, and instruct them from his instructions. So again, it's like he trying to make it seem like it's her, like everybody looking like it's her, and nobody knows that those were his instructions. But in all essence, she know, the feds and them know, and they just laying it out like, okay, and you went along with it. Yeah, okay. It's still, they hired male escorts to come in, hookers. Yeah, they still hookers, whether she asked for it or not. She knows she didn't, but she not up there to prove that. Let's go.
She wanted it done.
They setting his ass up. I told y'all that.
And so all of us at one point were like, she telling them how to pee on them. That ain't sexual trafficking, and that ain't that. We were right, but we were just looking at the wrong thing.
Right. Man. So let me ask you this, right?
Told you I had a bombshell for
you. He threw the grenade.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that.
I'm watching this case, right? And there's when you hear some of these people side, like they'll say, well, isn't she not complicit in some of these acts if she's going back to the guy? For example, she gets beat by Diddy. She goes back and has sex with Diddy. Diddy pushes her, gashes her eye. He then pays for plastic surgery. She then goes back to Diddy. Like, at some point, they're going to say grooming, right? But if you're 19, you're an adult. So at what point does age and grooming not match?
So once again, we're going to talk about this, and it's being talked about, but that's not the issue at hand.
Right.
Right? We're talking about how the food was. And everybody's saying good, and I use the plastic fork when we should be talking about the texture,
right,
and the seasoning. Right. But you have to be very careful in that regard, especially dealing with someone who's 19 and someone who is older. And it really goes back to someone's, how should I say, maturity at that point. If you're going to argue that point, according to the law, she's an adult.
Yeah, that's one. And then they went across state lines.
So if we're going to say grooming, we have to go back and look at someone's
and the arson.
Because on the flip side of that, what about the 19-year-old?
Okay.
I represented.
And the coercion. Was you here earlier, Leo? When I did the video about the executive assistant who Diddy told him, I want you to prove your loyalty. He coerced him. He didn't want to do it. He looked at the girl to ask her, are you okay with this? Because in essence, he was telling him to ape her. Prove your loyalty to me. Handle that right there. Get on that. Yeah, that's one. The other one is 2, and the arson is 3. He out of here. And the guns that's been defaced. He out of here. Told y'all shit.
A young man. She was 16. And she was a prostitute maybe 2 to 3 years before she even met this guy. She played him. Like She needed someone who was over 21 to get her the things that she needed. And he was naive.
See, and they never talk about that part of the game. That's what I was. That's where I was going with it. Like,
and so she had it down to a science. She would meet a guy, and she would go to 7-Eleven, and she would come out with a wine cooler and cigarettes. Got to be 18 to buy a wine cooler. Cigarettes, and have to be 21 to buy alcohol.
Right.
But she had an arrangement with the guy at the 7-Eleven. So when you see her come out with that, you automatically say, "Oh, she look young," but she has these items. I don't really need to ask her for her ID or how old she is, because evidently she's at least 21.
So would that not be coercion the other way?
It don't matter, because it is certain crimes that you commit.
Yeah.
There are no defenses to. They are what they are.
It's a long list,
They're statutory. It can't happen.
Even if she hit him with the fake ID.
It can't happen.
It can't happen. You gotta.
See, and people need to know that. This is why I say, I realize now why a lot of people are in jail, because there are laws in place that people just don't know nothing about. So it's like somebody can have a fake ID and show you that they 18 and 19-year-old, whatever the age is, and so if they give you a fake ID, how do you then know that they are? Because it's statutory. Well, how do you know it's statutory if they present you with a fake ID? What do you need? You need a birth certificate? You need to go talk to their mom or what? Yeah, but there are a lot of laws in place, and people just assume that ain't nothing. I can do that. I can ask, and that's good enough. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's what he's telling them.
As a prosecutor,
coercion the other way.
It don't matter, because it is certain crimes that you commit.
Yeah.
There are no defenses to. They are what they are. They're statutory. It can't happen.
Even if she hit him with the fake ID.
It can't happen.
It can't happen. You gotta have an ID detector. As a prosecutor, is there something?
You can say that, but there was times she told him, "I don't want your money. I want your time. I want your affection. I want to be with you. I don't want your money. I don't want to sleep with them. I want to freak you." She said it, but that went in y'all ear, it came out the other. She said that she okay with being freaky, but I want to be freaky with you. He said, "Are you crazy?" There was another time where she said, you brushing me off. You only be on the phone for, I don't want your money. I want your time. I want to be with you. Your time, your affection. Yeah, y'all missed that part. But okay.
That you would have asked Cassie understand that they didn't.
He didn't take her on shopping sprees and trips and stuff until he beat her. That was his I'm sorry. That's what Roger Bond said. When he beat her and all of that, then after she healed, he sends her on a shopping spree. That's his I'm sorry. Yeah.
To say,
and he admitted that he don't know how to be a boyfriend. He said that to what's that, Karish? Yeah, he don't know. He know how to flash money. That's his problem. Cause he don't have nothing but a Tootsie Roll. So all he have to do is money. That's his shortcoming, not hers.
That because we're all getting just bits and pieces of the transcript. And I really, if I was her, and I kind of wanted to lay the foundation and really nail it down.
Now, unless you got a tissue roll, you won't understand that.
Details of the transfer of the money.
Oh, let me hear that.
How did he pay him? You went shopping for items. So it's really hard to say that because we're all getting just bits and pieces of the transcript. And I really, if I was her and I kind of wanted to lay the foundation and really nail it down, I would have went into details of the transfer of the money. How did he pay him? Which accounts did he potentially pay him for? Did he ever make you pay it?
Right.
And which accounts did you pay from? And when you went shopping for items, where did you get those items from?
Right.
Did he ever give you cash to pay him? And so I would have really focused in on the transactional portion, of it. And this is the thing, they could bring her back.
Right.
Because they may not want to have her talk about what they're going to have the two alleged victims talk about as far as how they were sex trafficked.
Right.
If the prosecution is not using the first male escort as one of the individuals who were sex trafficked, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be someone that is going to be more of a victim.
Right. They showed a lot of photos of the sex photos, pretty much, of going on. Do you think those things will get leaked at all?
At some point, man, you got to think about it. You know, it depends on who Puffy had around him. It depends on who had access to these tapes and videos.
Who need money?
Prior to him getting arrested and prior to the feds coming in and seizing it. And anyone could have, what always ends up happening is someone in your own entourage grabs something either for their own personal use or to use later on.
Right.
And they hold on to it. But I will tell you, if you do leak that, chances are you're going to be charged with a federal crime.
Right.
Ooh, hold on. You're going to get charged with a federal crime. And somebody ain't going to know that. They're going to get hit with a federal charge. And they going to be thinking they did me wrong. They set me up. What have you. Because they don't know the law. Let's see what this one is.
I put a pinch of pink salt under my tongue, and a few weeks later, my jeans were falling
And that's
off.
just the way it goes.
Teach you how to make the new Japanese.
So when did you realize what play was being said?
Earlier today. When I was listening to
Don Richards.
Yeah, and I was listening to her former friend and the guy, his former assistant. And I was listening to him, and then I was going back and forth and looking at the law and looking at the statutes, and it just wasn't really making a whole lot of sense.
Right.
Because you have these people focusing in on him beating her, and I don't know why they put this last friend on, because she really didn't go into anything other than the video that happened at the Intercontinental and the acts that Puffy did after the fact. Now, also, part of that whole conspiracy and racketeering, what is it illegal to have? Cocaine, opioids.
Right.
And so all of that, and what did Cassie said she did? She said she did drugs.
Right.
So now we got a conspiracy to provide drugs at a party because you're supplying it.
Yeah.
That
they're going another one, Leo.
Is an illegal act. And so all of these things, when you start looking at racketeering combined with conspiracy, you're looking at
a
number of illegal acts that took place, and these behaviors or people acting in concert to facilitate this illegal act, this criminal enterprise, as they say. And so if I'm bringing in drugs, illegal drugs.
He got all the sex shoes, all the toys, all the lube. Everybody get, you get a lube, you get a lube, everybody get a lube, everybody get a baby oil. I got a hookah shoes in every size. Not at Cassie house, at his house. He got a whole, all of that for the red room. See, he got it all set up. Yeah.
Constantly to a party, to a group of people on a regular basis. You and I are in agreement that we're going to supply these things. There you go.
So, is Cassie innocent in any of this? Can she have charges?
Look, man, I reserve opinion on anyone because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know that woman.
Right. But I mean, if you're looking at it, you know, she's providing. She's in cahoots with. You see what I'm saying? Like
I do. I would want to see a psych evaluation or hear from an expert.
They
talk about her behaviors and the things that took place and the things that happened to her, right, and explain how they feel that all
pressure. You didn't hear nothing this man said. You still looking at it from she a girlfriend. She had the, you still missing it. It don't matter if she was his girlfriend. It don't matter how many times they had sex. She, beginning of the week, last weekend, I told y'all that this week, this is going to be about cooperating witness or co-conspirators. Cooperating witness or co-conspirators. Done, the makeup artist, Kid Cudi, all of them. Because Kid Cudi could have reported it. He didn't report, or he did call him, but he didn't tell him who it was because he was trying to protect Cassie. Yeah, all of that. It was either you're a co-conspirator or you're a cooperating witness. It don't matter if you girlfriend, boyfriend, a homie, lover, friend. It don't matter. That's what it is.
Affected her mental state,
right,
at the time, because on one end, just like
if you was else, a juror,
they say she makes a statement. I did it because I didn't want him to be unhappy. I did it to make him happy. I did it because I didn't want him to find someone else to do it with.
It's like swap.
Yeah, so but once she found Kid Cudi, she was ready to go. She still felt like she was obligated to do it.
100% gun to your head, take your clothes off.
It's mental.
Right? Those are things. It can be considered several ways, but at the same time, she could have been in a mental state in which she was just so broken down and beaten down that he had handcuffs on her mentally and not physically, to the point where he picks up the phone and says, "Hey girl, get over here right now and take your clothes off." And she is perfectly safe. She's in a police station, but yet she leaves the police station to come to him. And so that's not normal. And so there's so many different caveats in this. And until we hear from experts that can really break down the behavior, it's just our own personal opinion. But I will say this, that
so he said, so when the expert did come and said what it was, the people still found a problem with that. There's no satisfying people because they don't like the new law. But that's why Boosie said, y'all not seeing it. Woo, Philip Drummond. It's all full circle, baby. An expert did come, a lawyer, and people still don't like what the therapist, the doctor. She's a doctor. Yeah. And they still didn't like it. Yeah.
Affected her.
They're not gonna get it until their daughter to get caught up in some mess like this.
Just like everyone else, they say she makes a statement. I did it because I didn't want him to be unhappy. I did it to make him happy. I did it because I didn't want him to find someone else to do it with.
It's like swap.
And so when you say those type of things, those aren't really things.
Pressure, there was victims last week, and you still felt the same way. The girl that got beat with a wooden clothes hanger, she got a $30,000. She didn't have nothing to do with him. Kid Cudi, he was a victim. He had nothing to do with what they had going on. And a cocktail got through in his Porsche. But it's still it's still gonna come back to her. Yeah, there's been other witnesses. The assistant, he looked up to him. He idolized him. But he still said he carried illegal drugs. When he went to different places, he called the dope man. Lucky boy, always got one stop out of that. There's been other victims, but y'all just don't like them. They not victimized enough for y'all.
That are 100% gun to your head, take your clothes off, sleep with this dude.
Yeah, right.
Those are things they can be considered.
Now, how was the assistant got attached to her? They all gonna be attached to her because that's what Diddy have him do. You think he wanted to go to the grocery store and buy patches of witch hazel and all that type of stuff? Diddy told him to do that. So Diddy had them attached to her. What? Well, the next victim, she was gonna be his PR, but then she got beat and gang banged for not telling him about Kid Cudi. So you missed that last night when we went over that, her being gang banged, huh? In her past in the UK, and Diddy beat her, then had his boys gang bang her, and then he took her passport. Where was you at last night? Huh? Where was you at, Pressure? Because we went through that last night. You missed it. Yeah. He took a passport. He said he didn't care. She coming. She coming. But you gonna still say she was tied to Cassie. I mean, you gon' cause that's how he set it up.
She could have been in a mental state in which she was just so broken down and beaten down that he had handcuffs on her.
Talking about
mentally and not physically, to the point where he picks up the phone and says, "Hey, girl, get over here right now and take your clothes off." And she is perfectly safe. She's in a police station, but yet she leaves the police station to come to him. And so that's not normal. And so there's so many different caveats in this. And until we hear from experts that can really break down the behavior, it's just our own personal opinion. But I will say this, that there are people who do things in this country that we don't know about. Right. And one of the things that kind of caught my ear too was they stated that they went to swinger clubs.
Yeah.
So now that takes it into a whole new arena.
Why is it?
Because now you're talking about...
What's hearsay, Robert? What you talking about is hearsay? What are you talking about is hearsay? You talking about what he said as an attorney or what I said? What are you talking about is hearsay? Oh, no, she don't. No, baby. That's documented. They had court documents. That she got paid by Interscope. What do you mean, hearsay? She got paid. There's a whole bunch of people that got paid. We just don't know about it. We had no idea. Several people have gotten paid. No. Do your research. It's out there. She sued him. She sued him. Interscope paid it. Yeah.
Potentially someone's lifestyle. This is not, and this is public. This is a public lifestyle and not just locked up in some penthouse with security guards outside the door. This is you and I putting on a mask or going to a location that's so exclusive that there's other people like us there, right, who have the same fetishes and the same likes, and they're there so no one's talking. It's kind of like Heidi Fleiss when she had the prostitution ring.
Yeah.
All the elected officials, professional athletes, movie stars, everybody saw each other coming in and out and moving around this woman, but nobody said anything. And so, but to take it into the public and swing, that's different. That's different. I wasn't expecting that.
What defines a victim in the courts?
The victim. The victim.
Even if the victim is seemingly complicit?
Then at that point it goes to the jury.
Okay, Robert, think what you want to think. I'm not here.
Right.
Do your own research.
But if I go to
do your own research. But you're not gonna knock mine.
Right.
You're not gonna come over here and knock my research. Have you lost your mind? You're in the wrong place, baby. You do your research. All that don't mean nothing. Yeah, it mean it over here. Yeah, when you pay settlements, when you pay off people, that mean you guilty. Especially when you got 4 or 5 different people. Now you can say what you want to say, and that make me think you are a beater. Yo, no don't mean no to you. Yeah, you don't want to accept facts. Yeah, so you don't have to respond. Just roll with it. Because I ain't finna go back and forth with you, because that's that trolling behavior and moving goalposts. Right over here it is. You goddamn right. You have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with that? Because I can help you leave. I don't know you like that. Do you have a problem? It's everything. Yeah. Now watch what you say over here. That's strike 2.5. Yeah.
A jury of individuals. And they say, no, Larry. Now you got diabetes. You kind of were complicit in that. You went to the store and bought them Twinkies. Right?
Hey, Scott.
You drink all that grape soda. And I'm talking about health because
we don't troll over here.
You did all these things that affected your body.
Right.
So, victim, I don't know because it wasn't one thing that you did. It was a multitude.
I knew you was gonna say something.
I
knew you was. Bye.
Or what happened?
Come back another day.
It doesn't seem like Cassie wanted Diddy to go to jail. The reason I'm saying this is because basically she could have called the police a long time ago, right? But it seemed like she wanted his money.
But we talked about it. We talked about that the first time we talked about it.
Yeah.
Diddy's lawyers messed up when
this is
see, they want to make it about money now.
Fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
Oh, my juice is low. Okay.
For example, her friend who is suing Puff or Sean, she sent a demand saying pay me this much and a copy of the lawsuit that she was going to file. You can't tell me, it's standard practice. You can't tell me Cassie's lawyer didn't do the same thing. And at the moment they read those allegations, I would have took Puffy, made sure there was no baby oil in the room, and grabbed him by his arm and said, hey man, pay this woman. Pay this woman. Talk to your CPA, find a way to write it off, do whatever you're going to do. But pay this woman and make sure this does not see the light of day. But the moment that it became public and those allegations came through, look at what happened that affected your body.
Right.
So, victim, I don't know. Because it wasn't one thing that you did. It was a multitude of things you did that contributed to your health or what happened to you.
It doesn't seem like Cassie wanted Diddy to go to jail. The reason I'm saying this is because basically she could have called the police a long time ago, right? But it seemed like she wanted his money.
But we talked about it. We talked about that the first time we talked about it.
Yeah.
Diddy's lawyers messed up when...
It's, oh my God. Diddy thought he was still in control. He thought he was still running stuff. He did not think that she was gonna do it. He took her for granted. He is locked up because he thought he was still in control. She had been gone too long for him to still thinking that he still has some power. So she did what she did an AunTeaFee. He he got a oh okay. Oh okay. And that was one of them okays that wasn't okay. That oh okay mean oh okay. I can show you better than I can tell you, Nick. So that's why. Not because she wanted him to go to jail, not because she wanted the money. She felt like she gave him 10 years and he dangled a carrot. He manipulated me. I was dumb. I believed him. I thought he loved me. I thought I was special. I thought I wanted a relationship. I couldn't understand why I couldn't be a part of the family, why I couldn't be with you on the holidays. I just believed everything. And you beat me, and I did this, and I did that. And I'm gonna write the book because all that was a part of her therapy. The therapy is what gave her the notion to write the book. It didn't have shit to do with getting back at him and all of that right there. Her guilt, now see, she would have been a trifling, spiteful, hateful, and all of that get back. She could have put it out there and he would have never known nothing about it. It wouldn't have been shit he could do. That's what she should have done. She should have just dropped the book. But she started putting her feelings in there. I mean, oh my God. Yeah. That's where she fucked up at. But for him, he should have paid it. Because you're not in control. I got 2 kids and a whole husband that I done been having. No. Yeah. And he played himself. That's why his ass is locked up.
For example, her friend who is suing Puff or Sean, she sent said pay me this much and a copy of the lawsuit that she was going to file. You can't tell me, it's standard practice. You can't tell me Cassie's lawyer didn't do the same thing. And at the moment they read those allegations, I would have took Puffy, made sure there was no baby oil in the room, and grabbed him by his arm and said, hey man, pay this woman.
Pay that woman.
Pay this woman. Talk to your CPA, find a way to write it off, do whatever you're going to do. but pay this woman and make sure this does not see the light of day. But the moment that it became public and those allegations came through, look at what happens with every case. Every case like this, the first person has an outcry, and immediately there are other victims that come forward. Right? And for example, I think Shannon Sharp, the woman that he was on the video, on the live with, had no problem with it for, what has it been, a year or two? Yeah. But now that this case has come out and this allegation, he's being sued, now she's suing him.
Now, Pressure,
Right? And so,
I believe, now, honestly, Pressure, I believe that they had already talked to her. I believe that they had already talked to her. I think that, what's his name? Jonathan Adi is who put the feds on him. I don't think it was her who put the feds on him. I think Jonathan Adi crazy butt talking about they say he brought up Cassie. So I believe they talked to Cassie. And she had to talk to them. And, but she had already started writing. She had already did the book. The feds just played off of her. I don't think she played off of the feds. They went to her. She didn't go to them. She knew all of that stuff that was going on. She didn't want that shit to come out. That's why the feds and them leaked that video. She didn't leak that. No.
Anytime these allegations come out, you take if you take a strong stance, you better have some Jay-Z arsenal behind you.
Yeah, Jay-Z's not playing.
So I got a question. They just dropped all the photos of the sex workers today, right? And a lot of times it feels like they're trying to win the public opinion in these court cases. What do you think the outcome of that's going to be?
Oh, the dropping of the photos?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Look.
It's just the diversion?
It's the diversion and it's the shock your senses. I don't know the statistics. I don't.
See, they doing that to let folk know that it's not just about Cassie. They are intentionally dropping it the way they want to drop it to show Diddy, dude, it ain't just one off. It ain't two off. Here go 13 XXX workers. Yeah. You got a whole police lineup right there with all them male prostitutes. Yeah.
In everyone's bedroom.
And don't let Ava pop out. So now we know that she was subpoenaed. She was subpoenaed for court. Cause she's a whole missing person from Midwest somewhere. They done did digital face analysis. And this girl he kissing on talking about who is your crush. What? I'm so glad I didn't hear that before now. Yeah. And they got 50 Cent behind it, pushing it. Because 50 said that he sold her. But where would they have sent the subpoena? I want to know where did they send the subpoena for her to come to court. So she missed it. She disappeared. So I hope they got her. And I hope they bring her ass out. Oh my God. I'ma pass out. Y'all gonna have to come or find me and pick me up off the floor. Because I'ma pass out if Ava is a witness against Diddy. I'm gonna tell you now. Y'all gonna have to pick me up off the ground.
Right?
Pick that ass up.
I mean, Swinger Club, watching somebody and doing the things that they did. I mean, I would say more than half of America was sitting there reading that with their jaws dropped. Like, what in the...
Hi there, it's Dr. Chad Walding.
No, they didn't believe Adi.
Keeping your body and mind firing on all...
No.
What in the...
They didn't believe it.
Right. Like, you had to go back and read it again just to follow because your mind doesn't work like that.
Right.
And so when you shock people in that type of manner, then, because I think someone said that the jury was in shock.
How are you comparing Adi to Keefe D? Adi went from a male, he called himself a XXX slave, to running around in Trump Tower in a whole shootout with a flag on the front counter, shooting out with the Florida police. How you go from a XXX slave to a gangster that's shooting up a hotel in the Trump Tower, all on the golf course and stuff. Keefe D was already a hitman. I mean, so why are we comparing them to? I mean, I don't understand what you're trying to say. He was crazy. They had him in the interrogation room about why he was shooting up Trump Tower. And he shifted gears and went in and started talking about Sean Puffy Combs and Cassie. I don't get the correlation. He couldn't answer the questions about why he in jail because he just did a whole 360 and started unloading information. I guess he was trying to do a deal. Maybe he was doing a deal. Did I believe him before then? Yeah, I did. I believed him. I believed him. Just like, because when he started talking about Rick Ross and Khalil, and he said they gave two, and the private jet and the liquid, the liquid, and the girl going numb. Yeah, I believed him. I did.
Right, sure. Right, and so
too many details. He had way too many details.
Sean has pretty much some good things on appeal, because if the whole thing is really about sex trafficking and racketeering, dropping all these photos,
drop all the photos of the sex workers today, right? And a lot of times it feels like
there you go.
Win the public opinion.
Ooh, baby, can everybody stop and give Big Pressure a round of applause because he admitted that he has been. Woo! Where's my clappers? Woo! Pressure! Oh my God! Oh my God!
What do you think the outcome of that's going to be?
The dropping of the photos?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Look,
but he was crazy though. I ain't gonna lie though. He was crazy in the best book.
Version, and it's the shock your senses. I don't know the statistics. I don't. And
on top of that, if we gonna keep it funky, and I mean, why I'm thinking he was crazy as hell. He had 13 visits. Encounters, entanglements. And he recorded him. Once he started listening to all of this business transactions and liquefying drugs and running it through the private jets and all of that, he started recording. So Diddy didn't, hell, unless he know now, he didn't even know that he had that the XXX slave worker was recording him. So even that is going to have to come in, because for them to keep bringing him up, and he done already talked to them, I'm sure they done verified it. Now they done went in there and raided, finding liquid stuff in eye drops and all. But until he testified, yeah, he done already testified. Shit, they got the interrogation. He done already told it. He gave it to him, and that's why. What did I watch earlier today? Oh, he said, that guy. He said he got a whole bunch of charges, and he done had them, but they ain't moved nowhere. Them charges ain't moved. He ain't been nothing cause he working a deal out on Diddy. He gonna get a deal on Diddy. So all the attempted murder, cause he do have a whole bunch of charges, cause he was shooting at the police. Why he ain't been sentenced? Why he ain't been to court? They putting it off, cause he working with the feds. No, he's working with the feds. If you pull his record, that man got a long rap sheet. And oh boy, hold on, them charges ain't went nowhere. He ain't been to court, nothing. He just sitting.
Right.
Working with the feds. And
Swinger Club,
and he is on the list.
Watching somebody and doing the things that they did. I mean, I would say more than half of America was sitting there reading that with their jaws dropped. Like, what in the...
They didn't even know what's going on.
Right. Like, you had to go back and read it again just to follow because your mind doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Look.
It's just the diversion.
It's the diversion and it's to shock your senses. I don't know the statistics. I don't. Because I'm not in everyone's bedroom. Right? But, I mean, Swinger Club, watching somebody and doing the things that they did. I mean, I would say more than half of America was sitting there reading that with their jaws dropped. Like, what in the...
They didn't even know what's going on.
Right. Like, you had to go back and read it again just to follow because your mind doesn't work like that.
Right.
And so when you shock people in that type of manner, then, because I think someone said that the jury was in shock.
Right, sure.
Right? And so you have, Sean has pretty much some good things on appeal. Because if the whole thing is really about sex trafficking and racketeering, dropping all these photos and doing the things that they're doing really is prejudicing the jury against them.
They're making him a monster before.
For his personal life.
Right.
Like, look, you got a woman and she have 2 husbands. That's not my thing.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not judging this woman. That's her business.
A woman with 2 husbands.
And let's say not husbands, but 2 life partners. That's not against the law. It's not illegal. And my morality isn't her gauge.
Right.
So we can't do that.
Yeah, you're already shaping him like to what the society doesn't go against. So
exactly,
and you're trying to So speaking of him, people not knowing what's going on, right? The husband, I think he ran out of court, right, or something like that. He stormed out of court because he's finding out things that he didn't know about, right? And does he have any grounds after this to be like, oh, I want a divorce to get the money because of all the stuff that went on that she didn't tell him?
Brother, people have divorced people for less.
Oh.
People have divorced people for less. Right?
Whoever that is back there ask stupid questions.
You know, it's, to be honest with you, he might be set up to not only divorce her, but potentially get the children.
Why would she be able? Somebody would be able to get her children when that happened a few years before they even got married. Why do people think that this guy don't know what was going on and he met her through Cassie? See, this is when men, they just ugh.
Right? He didn't know.
He did know
into that type of behavior.
Yes, he did.
But they said he trained her for the freak offs.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He was the trainer.
Okay, first of all, that visual that you just threw out there.
Training for the freak off.
What is he? How do you? What, he got a super soaker and all kinds of.
He trained for the because he said one of the situations was Diddy, and again I've been watching all the footage. They had a freak off, and he wanted her to work on her endurance. So he hired a trainer. Now, the reason why Diddy is mad is because she ran off with the trainer that he pays. So they kind of try to make it seem like, well, how did I have so much control when you ran off with the nigga I'm paying? Like, you know. So
well, no, he wanted that $20K back.
Look. I honestly think that they probably will get divorced.
No, see, you don't know that they
and
no.
They were married at the time that she got that settlement.
Oh, he figured that 15 M's.
He about to get broken off and make off.
I feel like the only reason that Cassie sued was because of him.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Oh wow!
That's not uncommon, man. NDAs and all these other things that they got going on. You know, dealing with these criminal acts, man, that don't work.
So, hold on. I think you just dropped another bombshell. So, these criminal NDAs, that's if you're doing anything illegal with the NBA.
You cannot pay someone to look. Let me say this. Let me correct myself on that. Okay. Let me correct myself on that. So going back to the Bill Cosby trial, when he was first sued, the woman wasn't supposed to say anything. The DA knew about it, and so that agreement was had, and that's one of the reasons why Cosby was able to get out of jail, because it breached that contract that he had, that case would never be filed. So there are certain agreements that you can make in that regards, but paying someone hush money is and we know instances in which that's happened, right? In which you can go back to the Kobe Bryant case that was filed, eventually went nowhere, they settled. So anytime that you have a victim of a crime that has a civil matter, sometimes the criminal case may go away if it is negotiated at the time that in return for compensation, the witness is now becoming an unwilling witness and refusing to testify unless subpoenaed, and the state decides that they won't go any further because they see that justice has been done and the victim is made whole. And so there's a couple of different scenarios.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this NDA really covers, because like say I get an assistant, right? And then she comes to my, like, you don't tell nothing that's going on, we agree or whatever. She comes to my house and I'm cooking crack. And you know what I'm saying? And then she leaves and and then she tells like, hey, he's cooking crack in there.
We got to have
if the police come to her and say, hey, look, we know you in there, you know he's in there cooking crack. We want you to testify to what you saw.
These people need to know that NBA
but there have been instances in which people have
don't supersede a federal subpoena.
Right. And so Cassie could have actually went in there and said she don't recall. She could have woodied the whole.
Then she would have been a co-conspirator.
Counsel?
Nah, man, I don't know what's in the. It's something. There's something
co-conspirator
about all of that.
Co-conspirator.
It's something underlying.
It's called the feds have subpoenaed me, and either I'm a cooperating witness or I am a co-conspirator. I am married with 2 kids with a third on the way. He is so far removed. I am not finna go to jail for a prison, no federal double-digit time. No, So I'ma tell everything. I ain't lying. I ain't none of that. I don't give a shit what the whole wide world think of me. I signed the MBA, but that was before the feds came knocking at my door talking about I'm a co-conspirator in this racketeering human trafficking. That's what it is. So you can kiss that NDA. Yeah, you can put it where the sun don't shine. That's what it is. These men need to stop thinking deeper into it. That shit don't mean nothing when the feds come. Okay?
As far as, and it's personal. I mean, anybody who's watching this, there's something personal going on that we really don't know. Right? It's something that's going on that we really don't know about.
And she think part of that. And she think that he had something to do with Kim Porter. Cause once she say it's because of Gina, I think it's because she know he had something to do with it. That's what I think. Did nothing make her leave? A now woman, nobody before, because he done had more women than just Gina. None of them females made her leave, but the death of Kim Porter was, in her funeral, was the last time she seen him up until court. So knowing how he is, knowing people done came up missing, knowing people done been threatened, knowing all of that, oh shit now. And Kim, his soulmate, the love of his life, oh no, that's what made her leave. Not Gina. The death of Kim Porter.
It's why she did what she did, because once she got her money, a normal person would have thought that she would have been in the win.
So originally it came with a plea deal of 15 years. If you're representing,
well, she wasn't fool enough to go down with him.
What do you tell him?
That's his call, man.
Well, being that you don't know everything that's on the table right now.
That person right there that's talking sounds stupid to me.
Do you take it to trial? Like, do you want it to take it to trial from what you see?
So this is the problem a lot of times with these cases, in the sense that federal judges do what they want to do, and you really have to have the prosecutor on your side in order to get what you want out of the deal. And so he could plead to a lesser included or something different, and maybe get 10, or present to the judge a rationale why he should get less.
Wow.
But because of this video and the evidence, I don't see a judge.
Oh, wow. Sean Combs. Oh, wow. Sean Combs done signed this right here. Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprise, with the guy, Jonathan Oddie, so that he wouldn't talk about, oh wow, Sean Combs. So yeah, he cooked, y'all. Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprises. And this is when he gave that man $5 million. The XXX sex worker. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think, oh, wow. I don't even think I realized that. Oh, wow. He cooked, y'all. You know what? Let me hear this. Let's hear this before I go.
May have in fact signed an NDA.
Okay, so Jonathan Oddie's 6-year marriage dissolved in August 2014. He claimed to have a net worth of negative $1,800, so he's just a broke guy. He was making less than a month after his divorce from attorney Tanya Troutline, so he was married to a lawyer.
So why did I play that? Well, according to the Daily Mail and the New York Post, Jonathan Oddie may have in fact signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement with Sean Combs, signing this in exchange for $5 million. And apparently, there is a picture of an NDA signed in 2014 that has surfaced. According to the report, you can see Combs' signature on it. It says, over Sean Combs, individually on behalf of Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean John Enterprises. There's a signature there. And Oddie went on to apparently...
For the Combs parties. You see that Combs parties.
I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued individually on behalf of Bad Boy Worldwide, Sean...
Combs parties. Affiliates. Come on. Sex parties.
John Enterprises, there's a signature there. And
this is in Florida.
Tell authorities my settlement put me in a box. Basically, I couldn't talk because I was going to be sued. They kept following me, he reportedly also said. And he also said this.
What if fresh, healthy meals for your dog were just a delivery away? Ollie is my #1 choice for fresh food, unlike other brands.
They kept following me, he reportedly also said. And he also said this.
I caught herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. But they did Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon's here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so.
So he divorces her.
So he gave them the video recordings.
He spent who
Cassie brought the people in.
1,000 and sold them 18 months. See, this whole thing of Cassie just being a victim. I mean, she is a victim in one sense, but then she was helping to victimize others like the male escorts.
Cassie brought the people in. Cassie, that's what she did. So there's a sex worker never said that Sean brought them anywhere or did anything.
If Diddy's a human trafficker, isn't she? So anyways, this is pretty damn weird. This is actually the strangest thing about the whole case, if you ask me.
Because they still stuck on her being a victim instead of
into Trump's when Trump was
listen.
president in 2018.
Oh man,
this sounds like stuff. All right, Al Prophet, that's it. So weirdo.
Y'all try. It's funny to me because people still missing it. At this point, it's not about her being a victim. It is not about her being a victim. It is about her exposing the enterprise for the racketeering. That's it. That's the only reason she is talking. I wish that would sink in. Let me see. Oh girl. Okay, yeah, I'm finna go. I was gonna show. I don't know where it's at now. Okay, y'all, I'm finna go to sleep. It's 2:30. I've been on 2 hours and 30 minutes. Y'all have a good night. Yeah, I'm finna crash because I don't know where the other. I don't know if they really found her. They say they don't found that Gina girl. I don't want to talk about that. I did want to see this though. This gonna expose that Dawn girl. Let me see if this is
with all the other crazy stuff that came out. Like, for example, were you guys around Cassie at all?
Yeah, she's our close, good friend.
Good friend. Did you see any of the abuse?
Not at all.
Yeah. If you look at what's happening now, as we're sitting here and having this interview,
come to find out that
our
Don
lives, Diddy is
sacrificed OOQ.
possibly facing life in prison.
Right.
That's sad in itself as well.
I didn't see this coming.
Nobody did.
No one could have predicted, 5 years ago, that Diddy would be facing life, no bail.
Yeah.
With all the other crazy stuff that came out. Like, for example, were you guys around Cassie at all?
Yeah, she's our close, good friend.
Good friend. Did you see any of the abuse?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. When you saw that video in the hotel hallway.
Yeah, that was fucked up. Man, that could be any man and any woman. That was not deserved. You know what I'm saying? No matter whether it's Diddy and Cassie or whoever it was, that just is ridiculous, bro. I couldn't. Yeah, that was horrible.
I mean, that video was awful. And, he's
Ooh, you could tell his body language is not into none of this. He ain't got nothing to say.
How one person could be a Rico. And I understand the freakiness and, he likes to see other dudes sleep with his woman.
Allegedly.
Whatever. Like that's,
Allegedly about it.
He may or may not be bisexual, whatever. All that's legal.
Now, y'all know Don used to date him for what, 5-6 years?
Any of you really understand?
I mean, other than him beating, other than that.
No, but he's not being charged for
exactly.
that. That's the statute of limitations.
Paid off or whatever, right?
Yeah, she settled.
Yeah. I don't know, because you can't, I don't think you can go to jail for Vaseline or baby oil.
Yeah, but now you got baby oil back on the shelves again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He hasn't been buying out the world supply anymore.
Yeah. I think he's a danger to the world right now.
I think trafficking. They said sex trafficking and I think it's racketeering.
I mean, that's the RICO part.
Yeah. Racketeering.
But I don't, like I said, we don't know nothing about none of that. We hear with the same thing y'all hear from social media.
So he got nail polish on?
This is bullshit. People started traveling, and there are a bunch of moving parts.
Yeah.
And a person is being accused of that.
Is his nails polished?
Yeah. It's just.
He got gel nails.
There's conspiracy theories out there right now. So me, I'm just waiting on the judgment day because I don't know. I never really experienced none of the bad stuff that everybody talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Good night, Leo.
And I do see some stuff that's weird. Like you can't go to jail for baby oil. Why is this even a part of the? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it's just certain things that don't ring right to me. And I'm not one of the people that's gonna believe it.
Baby, his body language is
I was with Dirty Money, and I sung background for them when I wasn't a part of Day 26. Mm-hmm. So I was able to be around them through the album process of them creating Last Train in Paris. And what I witnessed was a sober Sean and a regular Sean. Like when he's regular, he's very cool, very giving, like it will invite you to dinner, you know what I mean? Feed you around this table. What up, Playboy? What up? Be very excited. Then I saw a high Sean too, which was very dangerous. So that's why I said I feel like he's in jail, and I'm not judging anybody because I think he needs prayer and help, but he's in jail because he's a danger to himself, first of all, and he's a danger to the world right now. And I think there's a lot of people that are scared that didn't come out in the beginning, that are very scared because it's a scary situation. It's not just him that could possibly hurt you. It's people around him that are still close to him that could hurt you, or it's just really deep, man.
It is deep. He was molested.
So I would say I think he's
Don tricked him
for a good reason.
Well, I did an interview with Roger Bonds.
Yeah, it came out. Don set his ass up. It's messed up.
I did an interview with Roger Bonds, who was in security. Was he around you guys?
No.
No?
I don't think he was around. Well, he was around.
I was around Roger Bonds.
He was around him, right. And he witnessed all the abuse.
Yeah.
But, what you're saying is, basically consistent to what he was saying was that Diddy was, over time became a drug addict.
Yeah.
He would go on these drug binges. Him and Cassie would lock themselves in these hotel rooms for 3-4 days, go on these binges, and during the binges, that's when allegedly the freak offs happened or whatever else, and then they would go and get IVs
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Try to rejuvenate themselves.
That's a fact.
And then a week or two later, go through the same type of thing.
He's also the person that said that Diddy said that he don't he never cared about making a band, and he never planned on using, you know, making a band successful. Like it was
just basically like a lick for him.
Yeah. Like he never really had a business mind for
James said that. Well, my thing with Roger Bonds was like I had an issue with him, and I was kind of like nervous around them because I was in the email, and I saw some things in a personal email that threw me off guard.
Like what?
I don't want to go into details right now, but it just threw me off guard. You know what I mean? To make me be like, you know what I mean? Like I understand you crying now and of the trauma that you've seen, but what about me, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, what about the trauma you put me through when I read that email?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's just not like Sean that's guilty. They're all fucking guilty, man. Like, and I don't just put the blame on Sean. I blame everybody that's in his circle. They're all minions and they want to be like him. And if they can't be like him, they try to come against him. If they don't got the money or they can't get it as quick as him or whatever he's doing to get it, you know, then all of a sudden it's like, let's turn against him now, you know what I mean? Because I guess whatever, I don't know.
Well, you said that you've seen the drugged out Diddy.
Yeah.
What would happen during those times?
Well, I mean, I'll keep it very short. Things felt very sacrificial. Shit.
Okay, explain.
I can't. And I don't want to sound like I'm a conspiracy person, too. You know what I mean? Because I'm not. But when you're under a power, man, it's just I can't go into details now, but sir, like I'll tell you, it felt like some sacrificial stuff was going on, man. Like it felt very scary and weird to where I ran to get help. I ran to my doctor. I spoke up with my family. I spoke up to people around me because I was like, if this is true, and I've come missing or dead or something, I want you guys to know facts and the truth of what I'm going through and experiencing.
Did you have this conversation with the rest of the group?
Yeah, they know.
So when you guys heard this,
we was in tears. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
We in tears. Real, I love my brother, what's going on, tears. Real hurt, pain like that.
I got to get an injection in my arm every month for mental health now, for the rest of my life.
What's the
they diagnosed me as schizophrenic and bipolar. The same thing, kind of like what Fred said he was.
Yeah, PTSD. That blew my mind that they didn't realize that from the making of the band and this right here, and the threats that Diddy threw out to them during that time. They didn't realize that the PTSD that they was experiencing was because of that. That's real messed up. And Don gave him a pill from Diddy, and he thought it was ecstasy, and it wasn't.
Stuff being harmed and stuff.
Yeah, I have people in my family who are both schizophrenic and other people that have been bipolar.
Yeah, it's real scary when you got to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
You start doing things. I was like walking around Rochester, bro. Like it's like I really like lost myself for like years. And I don't cry about this no more because I'm stronger. But it's like I was going crazy, bro, trying to figure out like what is going on.
And he done got
things
something
that I was feeling are coming to light now, and I'd be like, whoa, that had to be God. You know, intervening and
giving you
from that situation because it got really, really bad. So,
yeah, man.
I wonder do he blame Don?
But at least they found something that actually helps you out to stabilize you. So
Yes.
I think a lot of people, they self-medicate, whether it's with pills or whatever else. Yeah, man, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, dog, he got long commercials. Hey, Naturally Nolans. Now I'm looking at Don Funny.
Not good, bro. I'll give you guys a minute.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
guess like if this would never came out, I still would have been secret about it. I wouldn't just like snitch.
Yeah.
But he was worried about coming up missing.
It. And I don't know why somebody that evil would. I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would do that to a talented, passionate people. That, you know, we talented, passionate people. I don't understand. No, it's okay, bro. I don't understand why someone would sit down and think about hurting someone. I don't know. And or laugh about it after they do it, you know. Like, I don't get it. That's why I said none of them are innocent. I'm not here to expose anybody, but none of them are innocent.
That is demonic, y'all.
Y'all all coming after this man for millions of dollars when y'all were a part of it as well. Y'all were down too. Like, that's not fair. That's not fair to him. That's not fair. Fair to me.
It's not fair to people that with actual story that actually been affected by that.
Exactly.
To make everybody seem like they just out to get something or, you know, whatever, opposed to it being real people that went through real stuff, you know?
Did you ever confront Diddy about this?
I kept trying to get in contact with him because all I wanted was an apology. All I kept saying, like, can you apologize, like,
drugging me?
Apologize for what I can't talk about right now, but I just wanted to apologize.
Taking advantage.
Something was wrong with me, man. Something was wrong. And like on your last Vlad interview, you could look at me and tell like something was wrong. Like I wasn't the enthused person. I wasn't cute. I looked like stressed. I looked like I was in a dark place.
So, he sure
like something was
did.
wrong, like.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't mean to go there. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my God.
I'm so sorry, man.
This is real. And
we gotta take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Freddie was saying he was grooming them.
Okay.
This is so fucked up, man. Oh my God.
Cover my face.
So messed up.
I can't even. Man, I just broke myself, dog.
This is why I do not make excuses for predators.
Yeah, God.
I do not make excuses for predators.
Run me one more tissue, bro.
I do not. Because people are left to deal with it. You know.
That's just fucked up, boy. Yeah.
People are left to deal with the trauma. Because somebody think, you know,
what you on,
drugging
what
people,
you on,
aping people.
I wasn't expecting. This has never happened on camera before, has it?
Nah. We just chilling, man. We thought but I mean,
it's real.
The same way, because we do know, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So whenever you want to express yourself,
That's all good. Take as much time as you want, man.
This is so messed up. So not cool. So not cool.
I need to go off to the.
Nah, you cool. You good, bro. Man. You always good, man. When you ever got to release it, bro. Just warn me next time. I might.
Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, we gonna go ahead and make sure we take this spot.